What do you mean?
Alright, everybody, we're back again with another commentary for my Ghostface gameplay to see where I could have improved and where I could have learned something maybe new or whatever have you. Maybe you can also learn something. So off the bat here, we walk right out. They're all like just the way that we spawned wasn't a great spawn, so obviously we're just focusing on trying to get some stock in as much as we can. They did send us to RPD, so you know they're really definitely here trying to sweat. You can definitely see that happening because they don't tend to bring you to maps unless they have a reason, you know. So we were able to at least pull out 2 pallets very quickly. We have somebody injured, and we realized they're running toward Corrupt, so we don't want to actually chase in there. We keep our eyes on the prize here. We want to focus on whoever is healthy so we can try to mark them up as much as possible. We already have Spirit Fury, and we can see that he overextended there, which gives us the down that we need. And then we can immediately hook him right there. Solid work on my part, honestly. They instantly got healed, so I figured this is the perfect opportunity to drag them toward the center because we know that that's going to be the generator that they want to work on. Also, because it is the center of the map, and the other gens that were on the side there were blocked. Now, as I assume, we're going to try to get some stock in. I was trying to lean off the railing there. I should have crouched, actually. But we're in a strong position here because we have the high ground. We also know that they're also going to try to go for a save. We already see the Meg using balance. I kind of stood there like, really? Like that was their big play. Just to drop down and use balance and fly off. Not even go for the save. Not even try to help their teammate. So we once again stay within our proximity here. We break ourselves out of Shroud. Because I was just trying to build up more stock on the UE if possible. They just keep waiting around, really. So the closer they get, the easier it becomes. You just go for the M1. We can easily get the trade. And then, obviously, Alan decided to screw himself over by tapping his teammate. So any perk he had pretty much got himself killed for that. That was an easy blunder, easy misplay, which allowed me to once again get a free second state off of that because they decided to do that. They're going to go in for body blocks. Really could care less, you know. Everybody getting injured when I'm right in front of the hook really makes no difference. Because even with 2 body blocks, either I'll get a down, or I'll end up getting, even if they wiggle free, I could just down somebody else. It makes no difference. In that situation, feel free to hit them while they're body blocking, because of the fact that you're getting a bunch of people injured all at once. So like think about the proximity of the hook. I'm already facing the hook. I'm pushing against the hook, trying to get the prompt to appear. You know what I'm saying? There's situations where you may not be able to do that, but in this situation, it does work out perfectly because there's 2 people healthy. Because I can get as many injuries as possible, especially when you're using Ghostface, where specifically you like having the stealth will be able to catch people off guard if they're healing. Not when nurses are sloppy butcher because that's a terrible combo. But in situations like this where they don't hear me coming, I'm able to at least start to M1. Now we know Alan here has off the record, so that saves his life as per usual. So they can go ahead and body block, which really doesn't matter. We have Spirit Fury charged as well, and then it really doesn't matter what we do because Meg just ran the opposite direction, leaving Alan open for an M1 here. Now, if he does try to go backwards in time to go for that pallet, I don't know how I didn't get the swing. I found that really strange, but we got Spirit Fury to activate. He does go for the bad vault, which gives me the opportunity to just knock his goofy ass down. So, easy down there. We can also face the wall, so we can't get blinded even if they did have anything, like a flashlight or whatever have you, and we could just bring them over to this back corner, which honestly, the better scenario would have been to place him maybe somewhere else, but I figured I was going to at least use... He was already going to be out of the game, so I put them on the hook. That's away from the action, so that once I'm defending the middle area, I can use the hook there, or in the middle have you, whatever have you. We also get some really good amount of stock on there. We're at 5 gens still, so it's a really good thing to be able to get as much stock as possible. We mark up Yui, so they're all scrambling around. The other one is probably going to try to reveal. The other one's leaving the area, so they're not trying to save Yui at all. We can use it to our advantage. We once again can just get the pellet out of it, which is fine. We just break it so we can get our power back as soon as possible. We can use that in the chase, so we'll continue staying on Yui. We have a good amount of time. We just use that when we can. And then once we're close enough, or we cut off our line of sight for whatever reason, which he rotates back toward another area, we're just getting rid of pallets. It really doesn't matter. Right here, we activate our shroud, moonwalk it. She goes out the back door. We go over to this side. That's fine. We try to swing to bait them to go to drop the pallet. She kind of hesitates, and that gives me the M1. And then we immediately break it, get our power back as well, and then we just go ahead and try to spin around just to throw them off if they are waiting for some kind of blind. And we can place them on the hook that's near me just to immediately get more pressure as soon as possible. We do sacrifice a gen in order to start applying more pressure, because the other survivors, besides the Jane, doesn't have hooks. So now we kind of have an idea, like, okay, we lost maybe the middle gen, that's fine. They might be working on maybe a far away from the action, could be by the gate, could be by this area. So we're just taking a little look around to try to pull somebody off of the gen to come for the save. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. We have Spirit Fury charged. We're going to try to see if we can mark somebody. We notice, okay, the gate gen got done. So that means that there's at least 2 of them on that side of the map, unless they're actively working on a separate gen, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So judging by the timing and judging by the deadlock gen being blocked, that gives me the opportunity to start waiting for someone to show up, which we go ahead and just down Meg real quick, because she wasn't paying any attention to me, which gives me the opportunity to now hook them toward the center of the map so that they're going to have to cross over from either the bottom or the top area, which they're already running behind me as they go to do that. But by the time they get there, they might reach second state. No, they don't. That's fine. We still have as much pressure as possible. We go after the Yui this time because she's the one who's already injured. The other one can go save. We can go after Yui again. We have Spirit Fury as well, so no matter what they do, they could have Dead Hard potentially as well. We go to swing it to make sure we get stunned by the pallet and it breaks automatically. Down him again. Easy cheese. They're going to probably go for the middle area, go for the hook. That's exactly what we want now. They may have gotten an extra gen done, but that makes no difference, because them doing that gen gave me the pressure I needed to now hook the same one again. We just shroud up again to just throw them off, get a little bit of stalking on the Jane, preferably, because she is injured, and maybe the Meg as well in case they have an instant heal. It is good to get as much stock as you can, so that's why we're trying to stock up the Jane so we're not immediately revealed. But also we want to focus on getting the Jane because she's also somebody with a bunch of hooks. And also we want to get the Meg to drop down, obviously, to go for the save because that's her only option. She's using her balance to landing as well, so that pretty much this is the moment right here where we can pretty much completely win the game. We knock down the Meg because whatever endurance she had got deleted. We can go after the Yui now, guarantee an elimination from the match. So if they have like Unbreakable or something like that, this would be the opportunity to use it. We'd also we don't have Spirit Fury, but that's okay. Even if they attempt to use any of the pallets, they do have a God pallet going up, so obviously we want to get rid of that, which is just kind of guaranteed. You got to keep in mind survivors are going to try to find every pallet. Usually when they're like this, they try to buy as much time as they can. Now, thankfully, we got rid of a lot of pallets in this location, so there's not really a lot for them to use. The only problem is the proximity to somebody on the ground may be an issue, so we have to keep an eye out for them trying to go for some kind of pickup. Now, we're just breaking the pallets now because we definitely want to have Spirit Fury charged so that if we end up having to go after somebody already injured, and judging by their pathing, you know they're going to try to find yet another pallet and probably try to use that to pre-drop and then fly around to find their teammate. Now, we already have Spirit Fury charged, so they're just going to end up getting themselves cooked here. We don't break it. We want to keep maintaining ourselves right here, keep her zoned in. But keep in mind, survivors, the first thing on their mind is pick up their teammate, right? So we're just getting rid of pallets and stuff like that. She's just wasting everyone's time by running around and pre-dropping instead of actually doing anything smart. So she's going to obviously try to find where her teammate is. That's where she's going. That's why we want to make sure we get Spirit Fury, and then she starts to give up. We tell them no because they're garbage, and then we want to take them and put them on the hook. Because instead of trying to at least pick up their teammate and maybe pass the baton and have me chase somebody else, they decide to just run to every pallet and pre-drop it instead of actually trying to loop or at least try to get something out of it, Which at that point, it seems like the game's already over, so they're just kind of extending the match for no reason because everyone's on the ground, no one has Unbreakable. Like, the game is already over, but they're still trying to run away and extend it for some reason. When the game's over, as you can see, the game's already over. We're just trying to find where the people got downed, which we found one, so we can then go ahead and just take them and get them out of the game. So that is the idea. Now that is a habit you may see me do a lot with when I go for pickups. I try to shove, you know, myself against the wall when I go for the pickup as much as possible, just so that I'm able to prevent any potential blind. It's just a little habit that you want to develop, especially when you start going up in the MMR, just so that you're always able to cut off any angles by the proximity to the wall. Now they decided to wait until I was at the top to drop down, I guess to waste time, I guess, or something. It really doesn't matter, because we already won the game, and then she also dies on the hook, so she has no way of trying to second chance, especially because it is her second hook. So that is the first match for you guys, and we will review one more after this one. So we're back again with another gameplay. We're going to do a quick a match review for this one as well, just to kind of see my thought process and see if I can improve in any areas. We obviously always run the same build, because I find this to be the best for me and my playstyle, and it definitely helps a lot, and it's also the most versatile. Now you're going to see we get like a good amount of stock on a lot of different survivors. But we're mainly focusing on trying to mark up the Ash because they are closer to the main building, which can obviously pull more pallets out of it than, say, the others. Now, the idea would probably be to mark somebody else, but there was more people around, so I would have actually gotten revealed a lot sooner. So we were at least able to get rid of a pallet. We also noticed where the other one is hiding, so we want to at least try to go for Ash, who is running into the corrupted gens, but I figure we might be able to get Spirit Fury charged up. So that's mainly what we're focusing on. We're hiding the light there, trying to turn the corner, hide the light as much as we can. Now, normally I would say I broke the pallet on the wrong side, and as you can see, now it leads to him running to yet another pallet. But I did have Spirit Fury, so I figured I might have enough time to actually reach it. But he's deciding to just kind of run up top for no reason at all, instead of actually doing anything smart. So this does give me the opportunity to down him because he got cocky, I guess, or whatever have you. He did some weird spin move. I don't know what he was trying to do, but that obviously gives us the leverage that we needed, even though I actually broke the pallet on the wrong side. So due to gen speed being gen speed, a gen already flew, so obviously you can assume that we want to try to get the stalking on Yoichi as much as possible. We're not going to finish off the mark because we need to keep him there marked up, so when he does go for a save, we can immediately one-shot him, and then we just stay within proximity of the hook, because now the gen with the most progress is blocked. They're going to have to come in for it. Now we see somebody else with a flashlight. We get the pallet out of it. We know Yoichi's in the background, so we got everybody in the area here. So now we got Yoichi marked. We knock him down, but here's what we do: we leave him there. We leave him there because we can go after Ash and apply maximum amount of pressure here. He should not be able to make anything, and we'd end up just downing him anyway. We break this wall to give her power back with Olsen's wallet, just so we have it, and also so we get rid of it. It makes it a little bit easier, and then we could just go ahead and face the wall, pick up the Ash again, and then we can put him on the hook, on the same hook as before. And then we also notice that they're trying to go for the pickup on Yoichi. Doesn't really matter because we hook them, and then we can go after Yoichi, who I believe had sprint burst already saved up, so we just let him run off. There's no point because we already know that they're going to save him again. So then that's why we go after Ash for the third time. Now, the reason that we are trying to eliminate the Ash off the bat, you have to keep in mind that there are 4 survivors that can all do gens, can all heal each other, can all have all sorts of different amounts of pressure, just because there's a bunch of teamwork that is going on here. You're going 1 against 4 other people who can all apply pressure by quite literally just existing. Because keep in mind that gens are quite literally, you're just pressing a button, and you hit a couple skill checks here and there every once in a while, but ultimately you're just, a bar is just going up without any effort. While as a killer player, you're going to have to try to eliminate all of them with all different levels of skill, and also dealing with all different perks. And then after downing them, having to find the hook, and then also having to once again find somebody else after that. So keep in mind that you are doing a good amount of work, and you want to definitely eliminate that survivor to then apply the most amount of pressure, because as you can see here, we're already hitting 3 gens. Say I was trying to one hook everybody, I would have felt completely behind. I wouldn't have gotten anyone out of the game soon enough. We would have been super behind compared to getting them out of the game when we did. So you can see now that we're going for more stalking. We're trying to get the Kate to drop the pallet. We break it, right? Get our power back. They can go for the blind or whatever have you. They got Champion of Light for some reason. But here's the strategy here, because you know ultimately if they didn't have the flashlight with Champion, I probably would have gotten the an easy mark. But keep in mind, I wanted to drop the pallet so I could break it. We marked them up, and now we can just completely go ahead and follow them through here. No matter where they go, doesn't really matter. There's no pallet, so they just immediately go down. But keep in mind that even with a fast chase like this, even with you know, a fast down, doesn't matter. Even a fast hook doesn't matter because the gens are still flying. Now we're down to 2. So, irregardless, you have to utilize the strategies at the level at this particular level. You may not see rapid gen speeds like this in the lower levels, and you may get naysayers that say they don't have to do that, but that just they're just admitting that they don't play at a high MMR. Because if they did, they would honestly be able to see, damn, that happened in my match. Like now, as you can see here, we're next to yet another gen that's already 99. We're completely mind gaming them, which is great. We're doing well. We got the M1, the other one's going for the save, so we know that that gen right there has the most amount of progress. We have to pull that gen back. We need to keep that gen. We need to keep them off of that gen as much as we can to buy us as much time as possible, because we are very behind. We have Spirit Fury, so we at least can use that, and then we immediately down them. They're busy healing, so here's the strategy we have to once again utilize. This is why I show in every video the full unedited game, so you guys can see the pacing and understand, like, you know, where I made a few mistakes and where the pacing is. You can see that we're down to 1 gen. You can say, oh, it says 2 on the screen, but that gen is already about to fly. Anyone could walk by and just put in, like, say 5 seconds on that gen. It's already done. It's already finished, and we don't have any pressure besides the hook in that gen. They would have to start a brand new gen, which they more than likely wouldn't even have to necessarily save, because they have enough time because of the fact that it is a first hook. So it's not as much pressure as, say, somebody on second hook where it's a guaranteed death if they don't save. So we are still kind of behind in that sense, unfortunately. But thankfully, we are, you know, utilizing the strategy. We're defending this generator. We're defending the hook. We're making sure it regresses because it had a bunch of progress. We're pushing another gen basically to be progressed from scratch, then letting this gen go, and then completely having to deal with this god-awful gen spread. As you can see, the gens are completely spread out. There's no way I'll be able to feasibly defend it like at all, especially with Ghostface. So that's why we're trying to stay within proximity here. We make sure they get to second state so that they do end up saving. We can go after Kate on the hook. Yoichi's also one with the hook state. He has sprint burst. We just want him to waste it while we go after the other one. We make sure we hit off the endurance that the Cheryl had, I should say. I thought it was Kate on the hook, but it was Cheryl. I want to make sure I take that off, because we don't know if they had it off the record. So even if they don't body block or whatever have you, they can still have endurance and still have 2 health states. So I'd rather knock it off early, go after them afterwards, and then at least know for sure that I'll be able to get the down on them. We mind game them. Of course, they're going for body blocks. When don't they? But keep in mind that while I'm doing this, there's still that other person running back to that same gen. We want to make sure we get the pallet out of it, but we don't break it. We don't have time. We need Cheryl out of the game now because we are super behind. We'll break the pallets later. We'll just down Yoichi. We leave him on the ground. We have to, if he wants to keep body blocking and being a goofball, doesn't matter because he's not dead. So we're not going to focus on him. We don't care about him right now. We want him on the ground. We use our shroud to hide the light to try to give us an opportunity here to catch them off guard. They completely leave the tile because they get scared and they don't want to use their brains. So it makes sense. But now we're flying back to this gen that we were defending earlier. We need to make sure we get this Cheryl out of here. It's extremely important because now that'll pull Kate off that gen to go pick up the Yoichi. We need to. We're going to make sure we hook right there next to that gen too, just so we can make sure we can defend it. Now that they're out of the game, we're down. We're still, look at that. The gen is at 99.9, and we're talking 1% of that gen would have been done. It would have been down to 1 gen, and we deal with this god-awful gen spread. But because I'm utilizing the different strategies that are frowned upon on the survivors, right? They love complaining about it, but as you can see, as well as I was playing, the gens were still flying. So it didn't even matter how well I played. It didn't matter how fast I downed them because the gens are still just faster. It's quite literally just a timer with each gen at this point. It doesn't require any effort. So that's why you have to utilize the strategies if you want to win. Now, if you don't care about winning for whatever, and as you can see, by the time I went to go get my Spirit Fury charged up, they already just walked on by and popped the gen. It didn't really matter, right? But because I was able to utilize those strategies, I was able to then prevent that gen from flying, which then used to be able to get the Cheryl out of the game. You can frown upon it all you want, you know what I'm saying? You can complain about it all you want, but this is what you have to do at the high levels. This is just how it works. When you're good at the game, this is what happens. So, unfortunately, right? Now, what we're doing here is just mind gaming it here. The other one's busy healing. I figure it's not really worth going for the TNL because of the fact that Kate doesn't really have much stalking. As well as the fact that I've realized that if that's the gen with the most progress, I know that they're going to be the one running back to it. And you can see it's already about halfway done, and we barely got there, right? So I figure we don't even have time to go for any stalking. We're just going to have to try to just M1 him and have him injured. And we know that he's the one with the hook state, so that's why we focus on him. Kate doesn't really know that's the gen that they want to work on. She just wouldn't know because that's not where she's been at. She hasn't been around this area enough to be like, okay, yeah, that's definitely the gen that they want. They're not. That doesn't seem like they're communicating. So we're able to at least get this one to second state. We're gonna put him as far away from the gen as possible, so we can push the game to a different side of the map that's away from the gens. Because I was trying to pull them away from that side so that no matter which side that they would focus on, it can at least allow me to have enough time if they do decide to have somebody run off to that gen. Now, he does start giving up or something like that, which works out for me. We start stalking up to Kate, getting as much stalk as we can. You're gonna see me crouch here and there. It's to try to reduce the amount of the character model that they can see, right? Like the amount of Ghostface, which would be about 30%, is how they reveal you. So she tried to rewind time and go backwards and slam on the pallet with using the distance of the prompt. So we were able to once again go back and eliminate that option completely with Spirit Fury. That's why I always run this build, is because of the fact that when they do have the expose and stuff like that, it completely eliminates that option to just abuse prompts and stuff like that. And it's also why I run Enduring, so we don't have to deal with super long stuns when there's a million pallets on a map. It's the most viable, the most useful. Now, if you want to opt for a different build, you can, but obviously this is what works for me. But with that being said, this is the end of the video for you guys, and I also went up to the gen. You can see it's at 90%. The gens were very fast, and I'm not entirely sure how it was so fast, but you know, that is the video for you guys. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something, and yeah.